What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Cinema Review. My name is Scott. I just came back from a long vacation, so I kind of missed out on a couple of things. I missed out on the hype of the Bad Batch season finale. I missed out on a new trailer release for Nicolas Cage movie, Batman Long Halloween Part 2, Coda, a couple of things that I wanted to cover, but I just happened to be on vacation. I didn't bring my work with me, so we're talking about it now. I'm still really hyped about it. I just watched the finale today. So there's a couple of things I want to talk about, and let's just get right into it. So today we're going to talk about Bad Batch Season 1. Now, the Bad Batch was first introduced in Season 7 of the Clone Wars show. I thought they were interesting characters. Obviously, I was tied to Echo because we known him from the other Clone Wars seasons. And being in this group of like misfit clones where they all have like these mutations that make them more genetically enhanced in certain areas, I thought it was a really interesting idea and kind of harps back on the Clone 99 episode in Clone Wars where he's a clone that's also mutated, but he's like kind of like just reduced to custodian work. So seeing that there's like these mutated clones that actually that are actually being put to use is pretty interesting. And when the show was first announced, I thought it was a cool idea. You know, we were coming hot off the heels of Mando season 2, and I think everyone was just super hyped about where Star Wars was going. We were excited to see the Book of Boba Fett and everything. So now we got the Bad Batch, and we were like, okay, we have to tamper our expectations when it comes to this. This isn't going to be this high budget, live action, Emmy nominated show. You know, we're going back to like this animated Clone Wars where, you know, we got a Clone Wars season 7 before Mando season 2. So it's not like it's been a long time since we had this animated type of show. I think we were just so hyped about Mando season 2 that we came into this show maybe expecting something similar. I think a lot of people were. I really wasn't. You know, I kind of knew that we had to like ground ourselves. We had to be like, okay, this isn't going to be, you know, Mando. This is going to be the Bad Batch. New characters, new story. We have to focus on something different. But even though my expectations were a little bit lower, I was still excited to see, you know, the process of clones, the stormtroopers, seeing Order 66, and just how all these new characters would play into that world. Because the era of Order 66 is one of the most interesting times in Star Wars, if not the most interesting time. So being able to further explore that in an animated show, again, is something I'm always down for. And also let you know, like, I'm a big Clone Wars fan. I watched it as a kid growing up. I was able to see season 7 now as an adult, and it was something that I really love and something that I grew up with. So to have something else like that is, you know, I always like that. So now to get into the actual show, I'm just gonna do like a quick rundown of like every single episode, like really quick, just flying by like, what I liked, what episodes I didn't like, because this is a 16 episode series, and the show does suffer from a filler problem. You know, like I hate to say filler because I do think there are every episode adds something to at least the characters, but the show does suffer from that, and I'm gonna tell you which ones I felt like filler and which ones I actually really enjoyed. So starting out with the first episode. The first episode was a banger. It was a full hour long. Right away I could tell the animation was really impressive. It looked great. Having the whole Kanan cameo was really good. And it was just a strong episode. It featured stuff like Sidious and how he was telling everyone that the Empire is now going to be the new thing. The Republic is dead. And everything from that episode I just really liked. Seeing Crosshair and his whole development was cool. From there, in the second episode, it does decline a little bit. You know, it doesn't have that same tier of intriguement as that first episode, and it kind of doesn't get back to that same level of intriguement until episode 7. But everything from 2 to 6, it was still really good. I was still really enjoying it. I never disliked it. Obviously, it didn't give me the same excitement as season 1, but the stuff that happened between those episodes was still pretty interesting and pretty cool. And I also think this is where we lost a couple of people from these episodes. With these filler things, I'm okay with filler episodes, like a one filler episode, like in Mando season 2. Episode 2, I think, is when we got like a filler episode. I was okay with it, but when I feel like they're not pushing the overall narrative of the story, we just get back to back filler. That's when I could get a little bit annoyed or start to lose interest. And I think that's what happened to a lot of people. I think they just decided that they're going to finish it off once the entire show's over, and they just that same intriguement was lost from that first episode. So from episode 7 to 9, I thought it was really good. We got back on track from that first episode. We get this whole Crosshair storyline. He comes back into play. We get the Hela episode, which I thought was pretty cool. Some people didn't like it, but seeing that Dave Filoni incorporate his Rebels things were pretty cool. That new clone was cool. I forgot the name of him, but his whole story. He was also another clone that didn't maybe execute Order 66, or he had his doubts about what was really going on, and just how he went about with everything and the new clones joining him. I thought that was really cool. So then from episode 9 to about episode 13, still really cool things going on. I still really enjoyed it. But And episode 13, I actually disliked it. It was the only episode I actually disliked. I just didn't care for it. I thought it was boring. But that was like the only episode I could really say I disliked. Like I stepped away from it. I was like, wow, that's so boring. I'm not excited for the next episode. But luckily, they do get back on track with episode 14. And from then on out, it's really good. Episode 15 is probably my favorite. I just loved everything with Hunter being captured in the last episode. Seeing Crosshair and him talk, and him, Crosshair and Hunter have this really like emotional dialogue, which I thought was cool. And even though the finale was a little bit lackluster, in my opinion, the whole episode is pretty much just them trying to get out of Camino. I thought it could get a little bit boring at times, and I think people just wanted a little bit more out of it. I kind of did, but by the how everything wrapped up, I was still really intrigued. I'm still really excited to see what happens with Crosshair and what happens with Omega, and I did like how the ending tied into this stuff with Mando. So overall, I have to say I really enjoyed this show. One big thing I haven't talked about yet is Omega, the character of Omega. I think she will play a big part in the rest of Star Wars from here on out. I think we're going to see more of her. I did enjoy her character. She did get a little bit annoying, but I didn't hate her as some others do. Um, so I thought she was a highlight of the show. I thought everything with Cad Bane and Fennec Shane, that whole episode was so good. I love that. Um, Everything with Crosshair. Whenever we saw Crosshair hunting down the Bad Batch, those are some of the best episodes. That whole dynamic of the show is great. I was looking forward to always seeing that. The whole, nothing I didn't talk about at all. The whole Kaminoans, is that the name of their species? Their whole plot of how they thought that the Empire no longer needed them, so they had like some backup plans in place so that they wouldn't go out of business. I thought all of that was really intriguing and really good. Having Gregor, the Order 66 chip was like still in his head, so he was gonna like commit it and almost kill Omega. I thought all of that was really cool, and seeing how all of them kind of came to terms with Order 66 was awesome. But I thought it was just lacking in some areas, like the filler episodes were a little bit annoying. I thought like Echo and Tech could have used a little bit more character development, especially Tech. I just thought, there's a couple of moments that just could have been a little bit better. They could have just kind of pulled the emotional heartstrings a little bit more, kind of done a couple of things more differently, made it more exciting. But I can't knock it too hard. So this show, I was looking forward to it every single week, except for after episode 13, I wasn't looking forward to it. But I had Star Wars to look forward to every night. I would stay up to 3 a.m. for a couple episodes, and I was really hyped for them. And so I'm gonna give this show a solid 3.8 out of 5. I thought it was a very good first season. Hopefully, this kickstarts a really great season 2. And like I said, I'm excited to see how everything ties in together. Looks like season 2 is gonna tie into what Mando season 2 is going for with Snoke and the cloning, and how they might use Grogu, and maybe we'll see like what their plans are with Grogu and Bad Batch. That'd be cool. Hopefully, we'll see some more Jedi in season 2. Hopefully, we see Vader. I know a lot of people were expecting that, but Bad Batch was great. I hope you guys liked it. Let me know what you guys think. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.